Hey, what's going on YouTube? Jaeger the Viking here, bringing you an episode of 100 Ranked Wins or Bust, playing as Uriah Faber, going up against Scott Jorgensen in this one. And, right away, this guy just comes at me, gets me in the clinch, gets me against the cage, and rocks me real early. And then he just goes right back there, gets himself into a good position there. And that is really one of the most dominant positions you can be in the game there. It's really tough to, stop them from kneeing you in the face when you've got them there. So I'm, going back at him, trying to do the same exact thing here. And, I'm just trying to do as much as I can. And he escapes right there. But these two fighters are both very, well-rounded fighters. Uriah Faber has a slight advantage all around for the most part. A slightly better stand-up, slightly better clinch game, and slightly better on the ground. But it's such a minimal difference. You really barely see the difference if you're comparing the stats. But I'm just trying to throw some elbows here, and I get into the mount. And from the mount, I'm just throwing some nasty elbows. I'm definitely looking to learn that move in my career mode. Learn those elbows from the mount because those are nasty, and you're going to see me using those a lot in this fight. But he's on top here, and I'm just trying to push him off. I'm always trying to push people off there, and, sometimes that bites me in the ass. A lot of times I get reversed. I think when I'm on the ground, I get a bit too, I don't even know what word to use, but I'm not really patient enough on the ground. I end up on the ground, and I'm just spamming all sorts of transitions, trying to get out of there, and it doesn't work out. And I'm going back to the clinch here, and I'm starting to throw some knees, but he's not letting me connect with any knees well. So I start to throw a couple of elbows, and we end up taking this to the ground. I transition into the mount, get the separation, just go back to those elbows, connected with a nice one right there, another one right there. But he is able to, reverse that. He ends up on top, but I get him off me right away, no problem there. Now I'm just throwing some quick strikes here, and he goes right back to that clinch. So there was a lot of, back and forth, getting into the clinch, throwing those knees in this fight. Both of us realized, that that's a great way to dominate, and we were both trying to use that as much as possible, and getting a nice uppercut there in the clinch. Now I'm just throwing elbows back to uppercuts, just trying to connect with all I can, but he's doing a good job protecting his face, you may see. So my knees, they weren't doing as much damage as I would have liked them to, so I had to throw in some uppercuts and some elbows there. But at the end of the first round, it was a solid first round. He got me rocked, which, I definitely say he'd have the advantage after having me rocked. But aside from that, I'd say I was doing really well. After I got rocked early in the fight, I think I did an excellent job of staying in control, doing a good job. Yeah, he managed to, land some other solid knees there. He was doing a good job. That was when I got rocked right there, though, I believe. But he was doing a good job, had a couple reversals, all that. But I think for the most part, I won that first round. Felt like I, connected with some bigger shots than he did. Controlled him on the ground. Even with the reversals, I'd say I controlled him on the ground. And then, going into the second round here after it synchronizes. All right. And let's see what happens in the second round. So I go to taunt, and I don't know which taunt is which. I know the D-pad away from them is like the come at me, but I didn't know which up and down is, so I felt kind of silly. I did the taunt that's kind of like you can't hit me, but it was the beginning of the round. It wasn't really time for that taunt, and I don't know, I felt really silly, and he's going to rock me right here. I went for a takedown, he sprawled, then he just started throwing some hooks, and then I go for a spinning back fist. He's going to get a takedown, but I stand up right away, managed to power out of there without a problem, fortunately. And then I'm going to sprawl right there, not going to let him get me on the ground. Go for another spinning back fist. The thing with Uriah Faber, though, I love everything about fighting with Faber. I like that he's well-rounded. He's got, great ground game. He's got a nice sweep when from the half guard. If they're on top, then he has a really nice sweep, and it's pretty consistent. He's got these elbows. He's got so much stuff that's positive about him. There are so many reasons I like Faber, as he reverses me yet again, ending up on top. He was doing a good job sweeping me when I had him mounted. But the one disadvantage to Faber, he's got everything you need, but his reach. I'm not used to fighting as such small fighters, so though I like Faber, compared to everyone else in the division, it does end up happening quite often where I'll try to throw a punch or a kick and just not be able to land it. I'm so used to fighting with such tall fighters. My last fighter had an 80-inch reach. That was a 6'7" fighter. Now I have a 6'4" fighter with a 78-inch reach. So, you see me trying to throw spinning back fists, and I just cannot land them. I'm too far away, and that's something I need to work on. I need to be able to fight with smaller fighters too. Here, I get him on the ground, and I'm just trying to move around, but he's not letting me do anything, and he pushes me off right there. Connects with a solid knee. I go for a takedown, but just couldn't get it. He's able to sprawl. Didn't have much of a problem sprawling there. I find it's really difficult to actually win a battle for takedowns if they're sprawling and you're spinning the stick trying to get a takedown. It usually doesn't work out. I find suplexes are way more consistent, and I'm trying to get back into the mount here, but he didn't let it happen, so I go to side control, but end up back in the half guard, get some separation here, and then just start throwing elbows, but that's the end of the round. Now, if I would have had more time there, I would have just been throwing elbows over and over again, and that was really effective for me all fight. I did a good job with that. And then I went and read what they had to say, because I actually didn't know that you get rocked just from taking like a lot of head damage at one time. I thought it was just kind of at certain points of head damage or something. But it actually is, if you take too many headshots, take too much damage to the head over a short span of time, that's when you get rocked. So, fortunately, I was able to learn that after reading into details. Sometimes it's good to click on the details for your negative feedback if you don't really understand what they're trying to get at. And right here, we're both kind of going in slowly, but I go right in for him, get the suplex, and then I just start throwing some punches, but he managed to get me out of there. And then I'm back on top in the mount, going for elbows, and he's going to spin around, end up on his stomach, get him back. I get mounted, but then again, he gets that sweep, ends up on top of me, and he did a really good job with that this fight. I don't know, is that a reversal, or is that a sweep that Jorgensen has? Because I would love to learn that sweep. If there's a sweep that gets you out of the mount, that's perfect. And right here, the reason I'm taking shots to the head is because I'm trying to go for the sweep that Faber has from here, but he is not letting it happen. And then I do manage to get it. I don't know if it was worth it, though, considering I took like 3 or 4 solid headshots right there. But end up back in the mount, and I'm throwing elbows, just throwing some nasty elbows, and I get the knockout, getting the W. He had me rocked twice. He did a good job for most of the fight, but he just could not win it. I managed to slowly but surely do some damage, from the mount. Those elbows, I think, are what really did it all fight. That's what finished the fight for me, and that was a great, go-to all fight. Just dominated him with those elbows. I don't know what I would have done without him. But anyway, that's the end of this video, guys. Really hope you enjoyed it, and I would really appreciate if you dropped a like on this video. I assume you enjoyed it, so, I'd really appreciate if you would like it, support my stuff. That's it. I'm out.